We have an educational tour.
Again, submitted for this chair camp over the summer. I think they need some time to do some fundraising. It's the board's option if they want to approve it tonight or if they'd like to approve it after a second read. There's no cost to the district.
Where are they going?
Utica
Grand
for the
Fair
Super
Lodge.
CDA chair camp.
This is an annual trip that they take every summer.
All right.
Do we have numbers, how many are going? Do we
It says
have-
40 students. Is that?
All the information's in the packet.
Yeah.
They have 5 chaperones. I mean, they're in good shape for chaperones. And it's $317 a person.
All right. Any discussion on that? On the Grizzly Jack's Grand Bear.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sounds fun. All right. We can move on.
Need a motion?
We could just keep at it. We want to just vote on it. I don't think there's any, reason to go into it unless someone wants to.
I guess to Laura's point, because she said maybe there should be a category that we consider separately. If we don't take action tonight, does it impact their planning and/or preparation for this?
I think 2 weeks. I think they've submitted this early enough that those 2 weeks will not set them back.
Right. So we might as well just go along the process.
So I think the 3 categories that are important to me and where I've seen error or contention, or, district money, policy, and then anything of high liability tends with, liability where our students are leaving, they're out there. Sometimes things have come up. And actually, this double meeting resulted in some questions on field trips. Who was going to come? Do we have enough people? Fun, all other questions about that. Those are the 3 categories that are most important for me. Those are the categories that have cost the district, most trouble if we don't make a good decision. As far as operational decisions, the other one, that's fine with me. It's a staff operational. If you split it counts. That's just an operational. But that's just my suggestion for some of the categories that I would like to see as 2 reads.
Well, I think Kevin's got a plan, and we'll come up with some verbiage.
If you really wanted to do it like Robert's Rules of Order, we should have a first read, and then if the board had no questions, or there were none submitted on this packet read, or none in the next 2 weeks, it would go to the consent agenda item unless the board had items.
That would be my preference.
So then what would happen is, unless anybody submits any questions, a lot of this stuff would just be in a consent agenda item. Now, we normally only put a consent agenda item on the business meeting, which is the first meeting of the month. And so we do usually try to do, that's why I usually have like Kylie bring textbooks and things where we spend money. Like I tried to bring those so that they come at the cow and then we vote on them 2 weeks later at the business meeting. So like if you look at like Kristen, when Narnia sends her the gas rate, if I would have said, no, Kristen, you got to wait till the first, so we would have waited 2 weeks to get the first read at the cow, and then we would have waited another. We could have, rates could have doubled. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're not, maybe they go down. But that's where, if you set this up so that you only present something for the first time at the cow and then do it at a business meeting, you could end up.
You
then
lose some flexibility.
You could lose some definite operational flexibility and could cost the district more money.
Well, then we just have to vote at the committee of the whole meeting. I mean, we have voted in the past.
Yeah, we have.
And there's nothing
Right.
to preclude us from having a consent
Right,
agenda
we-
on the
we can-
committee of the whole.
We can set it up either with a consent or we just call it a special
Right.
committee of the whole and vote on it.
Right.
I mean, in the interest of time, I think we're all busy, but my expectation is everyone's reading the packet, but obviously everyone doesn't get through the full packet for each meeting. And maybe that's where some of the questions come up, I think, when there's a first and second read. But at the same time, I think if you submit questions and it goes to a consent calendar, That seems like an absolutely appropriate and efficient use of the schedule. I don't have I mean, you can draft up the language, obviously, but, starting at the committee of the whole or starting here, it doesn't matter.
And we've always written like when we at 220, when we write our policy or board rules, like we always write them so that we're not pigeonholed.
Right.
So that there is flexibility in those months where we only have one meeting where we need to make a decision or something. So,
Yeah, these are operational procedures for so that every meeting is not, so how are we going to handle this one? How are we going to
Yeah,
handle this one?
I
Let's make it
just
smoother.
don't know why we're doing this, but, all right, we'll look at, we'll read that, we'll adjust it, we'll talk about adjusting
so
it.
if we don't see, if Mary Ann or I don't receive any questions, we're just going to put this on the consent agenda for the next meeting. Okay?
Yes.